Hi friends, I'm Parvez and this is our sixth video in Python programming language. In this video we're going to talk about Python lists. Now a list is a collection which is ordered and also changeable, or a list is a collection of items in a particular order. Now you can make a list that includes the letters of the alphabet, or you can create a list that contains digits from 0 to 9. Now you can put anything you want into a list. So now for creating of the list you can use square brackets. Now let's create our first list in Python. So the first thing I need, I'm going to just create a new Python file and I'm going to just call it pylist. And after this so we are going to create our list. Now we can write the name of the list. For example, I'm going to create a list of programming language, and after that I'm going to just add two square brackets. For right now it's an empty list and we don't have anything in this list. So now I want to add some items to this list. For example, I'm going to add Python, Java, C++, and also C#. So now this is our list. We have a list of languages, and in this list we have 4 items. So now let me just say reformat file. Now these items are programming language names. We have Python, Java, C++, C#. Now if I print the type of this language, now if I say print type language, so you can see the class it is a type of list. Now if you want to print the items in the list, we can just say print language. So you can see that these are the items in our list. So you can see that we have our all items in this list. For example, if you want to access a particular item in this list, for right now we have all of our items in the list. For example, in here I want to access to the C++. So for this we can just use the index of this list. So in here we can just say print language. So it's index 0, 1, 2. So you can add the name of the list, and after that you need to add the index that you want. So if I run this, you can see that I am receiving C++. Now you should make a note that the index is started from the 0. So we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this is the last item. If I make this 3 and if I run this, you can see that I am receiving C# in here. Also you can add minus. For example, if you want to get the items from here, so from the last items, for example, we can add -1. So in here, if I run this, you can see that I am receiving C#. And if you want the second item from the last, you can just say -2. So you can see that we are receiving the values from the end. And if you say -3, it should be Java. Okay, now if you want to print a range of items, for example, in here I want to print, so this is 0, I want to print from 1 up to for example 1, 2, 3. Now if I say print language and I want to print from 1 up to 3, now it will print for us Java, C++, and it will not print C#. So if I run this, you can see that I am receiving Java and C++. If I make it 4, this time I will receive C# also. So you can see Java, C++, and also C Sharp. Also, you can use individual values from a list. Now let me just show you. Let me just remove these from here. So this is my list, and now I'm going to just create a text in here, and I can say, for example, I'm using if string in here. I love, and we can add a language index 0, programming language. Now I can print text, and if I run this, you can see that I am receiving I love Python programming language. Now if I change this to 1, so the first index, and you can see Java, and also if I add, for example, -1, it will print the last item, so that's C Sharp. So you can see I love C Sharp programming language. Also, you can change the items in a list. Now let me just show you. For example, in here I want to change Python to JavaScript. So for this I can just write the name of the list, and after that you need to specify the index of the list. For example, the index of the item. So I want to change the item 0, and I want to change that with the JavaScript. So JavaScript. Now if I print my list, so first let me just print my original list. So I'm going to just say original list, and this is language, and now this is changed list, and I can language. So now we can see that this is our original list. We have Python, Java, C++, C Sharp. But after changing, now in the changed list, we have JavaScript, Java, C++, and C Sharp. So like this, you can bring change to a list item. Also, you can add items to a list. Now for the simplest way is using append. You can use append for adding an item. So when we append an item in the list, so the new item will be added at the end of the list. Now let me show you using append. For example, we can say language.append, and I want to add Kotlin. Now when we use append, now this item will be added at the end of the list after C Sharp. So if I print language, let me just say added item, and I can print language. Okay, now you can see that we have Python, Java, C++, C Sharp, and you can see that Kotlin is added at the end of the list. Now when you're using append, it will append the item at the end of the list. Also, you can create dynamically list. So now let me just show you. For example, in here I'm going to just say fruits, and this is an empty list, and if I print this fruits, you can see that this is an empty list and we don't have any item in here. Now we can append items to this list. So we can just say fruits.append. Now you can add some items to this. So fruits.append and fruits.append, for example, whatever you want, you can just add some fruits, and now we can print fruits. So you will see that now we have some items in this list. Another way is that you can insert an item or an element to a list. So using insert method, you can add elements at any position in your list. Because when you are going to use insert, you can specify the index of that element. So for example, in here, I can just say fruits dot insert, and in here you need to specify the first you need to add index. So I want to add an index 0, and in here I want to add, for example, banana. Now first let me just print the original list in here, so original, and in here I can just say print fruits like this. So oh sorry, it's not, it is insert. And okay, now you can see that in the original list we have apple, pear, melon, but in the second list that we have inserted an item at the first position or index, you can see we have banana, apple, pear, and also melon. Also, you can remove an element from a list. So there are different ways that you can remove an element or an item from a list. You can use del if you know the position or index of the list. So now let's just first use the del keyword in here. Okay, now let me just remove this from here. Okay, let me print fruits. So now you can just use del, and after that you need to add the name of the list, and now you need to specify the index. So for example, I want to remove this first index, and now I can print fruits. So if I run this, now you can see that this is my original list, and after deleting, now we don't have the first the second index. It's so the peer in our this new list. Also you can use pop for removing. So the pop method removes the last item in a list, but it lets you work with that item after removing it. It means that you can, after removing, you can also access to that item of the list. Now for that, let me just remove this fruits list, and I want to just work with this language list. Now I'm going to just say popped, and I can just say language dot pop, and now I can just print language, and also I can print popped. So now you can see that this is the popped. As I have said, using the pop method you can remove the last item. Now the last item was C#. Now this is removed from the list, but it lets you to work with that item after removing also. Now sometimes you need to remove an item by value. Now for removing an item by value, we can use remove method. Now let me show you. So we can just say language dot remove, and in here you need to write the name of that item or element that you want to remove. So for example, I want to remove Java, and I can just write Java in here. Okay, after that I want to print this, and I want to print the original list. So now we can see in here I have, in the original list I have Python, Java, C++, C#, and after removing of the Java I have 3 elements in my list. Also you can sort a list. Now there are 2 ways that you can sort a list. So the first way is sorting a list permanently. Now for sorting of the list permanently, we can use sort method. So in here I can just say a language dot sort, and I can print language. So now you can see now this is our original list and this is the sorted list. Now there's another function for sorting lists that's called sorted. Now using sorted method you can sort list items temporarily. Now let me just show you. We can just say print sorted and you can add language. So now you can see that we are receiving a sorted list in here. Also you can reverse a list using reverse method. So we can just say language.reverse, not remove, reverse, and now I can just print language. So you can see that this is the reverse. And also you can find the length of a list. We can just say print length and you can add the language, and if you run this you can see that this is the length of the list. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and if you want the source codes and more information you can just check my website geekscoders.com.